Okay, today we're going to learn how to root the HTC Evo Shift with 2.3.3 and above. It's already March of 2012 and there's no one-click root out for the Evo Shift. Don't think there's a lot of development still on the Shift, so we're probably not going to see a one-click. However, we've condensed the steps down and put together a pretty compact file. And if you follow this video tutorial, it should be pretty simple for you. So let's get started. If you've downloaded the root file from the link in the description of this video, you're going to see these files in there. You're going to have the archive, which you're not going to touch. You're going to have the ADB folder. You're going to have the SD folder, and you're going to have your click to run, and then the instructions. So the ADB folder, basically you're going to take this, you're going to copy it, and you're going to put it right onto your C drive. Now you'll see I already have mine there. So just go ahead and copy that out there to your C drive. And then let's go ahead and open up the instructions, and we can follow along. We'll leave this open here on the screen, and we'll bring the instructions over. So you're going to need an SD card for your phone. You want to make sure that the SD card is formatted FAT32 before you move the files in the SD folder over to it. Once you've formatted the SD card FAT32, you can put it in the phone, put the phone into to disk drive. So in order to do that, if you look at the phone here, you can scroll down on the information bar, and where it says charge only, you can click that, and then you can go to disk drive, and that will open up the SD card onto your computer. So we'll click done, and it takes just a moment, but you'll see this pops up, and here's the SD card on the phone. And so you can go into SD folder. There's these three files, and you can move them over to the SD card. You'll see I already have them here on my SD card. Once you have it moved over, you'll want to go back to the phone, scroll down the information bar, hit disk drive, and then go back to charge only and hit done. Go back to the home screen. Now your phone's going to need to be in debug mode, so in order to do that, you'll click Menu, Settings, and you'll go to Applications, and then to Development, and you'll make sure the USB debugging has the green check mark on it. Mine does. So if yours doesn't, just go ahead and make sure that's checked. And then if you haven't used it before, you're going to need to set one more thing up, because you'll need the drivers on your computer. So if you haven't used USB debugging before and you don't have the drivers installed, you'll need to go to HTC and get those. So you can type in HTC Sync into Google, and I know I went kind of fast. You can see HTC Sync installation instructions. You can click on that. So you'll click on HTC Sync and you'll go through the installation process. I'm not going to do it because I already have it installed on my computer. But you'll install HTC Sync. And once that's installed, let me cancel out of this. And once that's installed, you'll be ready to go. Plug your phone in. It'll load up the drivers, and your phone will be connected. Now, one way you can check whether or not you're connected is you can go to Device Manager, and you can see up here at the top it says Android USB devices. You can click on that, and it'll say My HTC. That indicates that you're connected, and you can run ADB commands to your phone. I have a shortcut to my Device Manager, but you can right click on your computer icon it'll take you to this screen here, and then you can click Device Manager there, and it'll bring that same screen up, and you can see that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start running the commands. Now, these are the instructions, and those are included here in that file. I'm just going to move them off screen for a moment, and then I'm going to show you how to access the ADB commands. You can come here to the Start menu, and in the little search box down here, write CMD. Okay. Now, once you get into the CMD screen, you're going to type CD / and then enter, and it's going to take you to your root C prompt. You don't need to know any of this, just run the command CD / enter. Then from here you're going to write CD space C, that little colon thing, / ADB enter, and that's going to put you into your ADB folder that we just put on your C drive. Okay, now from there you're going to start running these commands. Let me bring this back out here. I'll put it right there so you can see it. So now we're going to actually write commands to the phone. Now, just to double check that we're connected to the phone, we can write ADB shell here and hit enter, and let's see if it'll connect to the phone. And it does. The little dollar symbol indicates that we have connected to the phone. We'll just hit exit now and go back to our prompt. So what we want to do is we want to run these series of commands. So we can just simply copy and paste. Okay, just let that run. You're going to hear a little beep as the phone disconnects. It will exit back to the command prompt, and then we're going to keep on going. Try to make it as easy as we can for you. Now here's the key. We're going to see those commands we just pushed will give us temporary root. When we go back, we should see the little pound sign. Remember previously we had the dollar sign. Well, in Linux, the pound sign means that we have super user permissions. Now this is just a temporary root. Now we're going to go ahead and set some of our permissions so that we can load a different bootloader onto the phone and get permanent S off and root. I know it looks like I'm going through these commands pretty quick, but it's simple cut and paste, and I've done this 100 times. Now on this one here, there was no such directory or file. Don't worry about that. Just keep going. It's going to be fine. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go back to the phone and we want to disconnect it, and we want to pull the back cover off, and we want to pull the battery out and then put the battery back in. Okay, so you put the battery back in, and now what you want to do is you want to hold the volume down and the power at the same time, and then just release the power after a few seconds and you'll come to the HBoot screen. Now, it's going to go ahead and it's going to scroll through and it's going to look for one of the files that we put onto the SD card. And it's going to load that file. And it takes a while for this file to load. I'm going to cut this out, speed it along a little bit. Okay, so now you'll come to a menu. It's got a lot of stuff listed there, and at the bottom it says, do you want to start the update? You'll want to do volume up for yes. And when you do, it's going to start loading various components, starting with the bootloader, then the recovery, on and on. Now, this RUU that we're running is not for the Evo Shift. And as you see, it's going to shut the phone off. And it's going to boot the phone back up into the HBoot. And the phone's kind of like, what's going on here? And now it's going to go back through this loading sequence that we went through before. Just let it do its thing. And then it's going to go back and it's going to automatically resume the update where it left off. Okay, so now it's all installed and it says press the power to reboot. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to reboot. And it'll dump you back at the home screen. And if you go to menu settings and scroll down in about phone, look at the software information, you'll see we now have Android 2.2 on the phone, and that's rootable. So we'll want to go back and we'll turn on debugging. So we'll go to applications, development, USB debugging, turn that on. And we'll go ahead and plug our phone back into the computer. Okay, now that we're plugged back in, the phone may or may not reload the drivers, but we'll see it there, so I know I'm connected. And alternatively, I can come back here and I can type ADB shell. And if I spell it right, it'll tell me that we're connected. So that's what we want. Minimize that. And we're going to go back to that folder that we downloaded. I'm going to go to the Evo Shift here. And we want to go ahead and root now. So you can go back into the folder here and click on the Run 2.2 root. If that link doesn't work for you, give me a minute. I got to close out of that. You can go into the archive and run it right there. Okay, so now that this is up and running, and we want to thank AMOAMARE for the programmer. I think he put this together. He's had a few of these out and they work really good. This was for 2.2. I forgot where I got this. It might have been XDA, but he's all over all the forums. So if you see one of his posts and you use this programmer, go ahead and hit him up, say thanks. You can click the little thanks button there. So the first thing you want to do is click on root. Now it's going to come up with this screen. It's going to say, does your phone have engineering HBoot installed already? If so, click yes. This will install blah 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 blah. The first time you run this, you want to click no, because you don't have it installed, because we just ran the RUU, which would have taken engineering HBoot off even if it wasn't installed. So click no and it will install it. Just let it go through the motions here. Okay, so now it's been installed. So now click root again. It's going to ask you the same thing. This time we're going to click yes. And it gives you error, but it runs everything, so we're good. Now we'll click on install recovery, because we want to put a custom recovery on the phone. So we'll click here. It should take you right into the custom recovery, but if not, you're going to go back to your root evo folder. You're going to go into the archive. You're going to go into the recovery folder, and that's the recovery we want, and we can click on install. And it's going to reboot the phone to the bootloader menu. That was that white menu that we saw before when we loaded the RUU. And now it's going to run the custom recovery. And once it's done, it'll reboot your phone. So now you have a custom recovery. Load a ROM. Now remember, we're on 2.2 now, so most of you are going to probably want to run a 2.33 or a 2.34 custom ROM. Okay, so when it gets done with your phone, it's going to put you into the custom recovery menu. And from here, if you already have the ROM on your SD card, you can just install zip from SD card, scroll through the prompts, and install that custom recovery. So that's going to be it. Your phone is now rooted. You can go to Reboot System Now, hit power, and it'll reboot up. You're completely rooted. You have a custom recovery installed. You can do anything you want with your phone now. Enjoy it, and thanks for watching this video.